Alright, what's going on guys? Tom from the Labs from a brand new camera, as you can see right here. This is very weird to me because I've never done really anything of this before, but I just got a new camera and I wanted to test it out. I also wanted to test the audio quality of this camera, and I thought why not do it with like a apartment tour to show you a little bit about what my place looks like and to give you a little of a general tour on what my stay-at-home setup is. And you can see what kind of gear I'm working with and basically like see how a regular day looks like as Tom from Dreadlabs, I guess.
Dreadlabs.
So as some of you might know, I recently moved in with my girlfriend. We rented an apartment together in the city of Tilburg in the Netherlands. Before that, I used to live at home, and you can probably see in my older tutorials that I worked in my bedroom, which was in my parents' house. So yeah, basically we got an apartment, and like I said in the intro, I have a stay-at-home workplace here in our living room. So I thought, let's just give you guys a tour. So this is where you enter the apartment. We got like a dinner table here. As you can see, the box of the camera is still there. So our apartment is on the ground floor. You can probably not see it that well, but because it's very sunny outside, but it gives like pretty good lighting here, I guess. So you enter here and I'll show it to you guys. So this is where our living room is. We have like an old TV and some old cabinets and stuff like that. And as you can see, we are very much into our plants. Here's another cabinet where there's our Monstera. But yeah, this is where my desk is also at. And as you can see, the space is pretty small, but I try to make it work. And I'm actually looking for an office. More on that fairly soon, I guess. But yeah, let's just go into my workplace and I'll show you guys a little bit about my setup. So the first thing we got here is this massive screen by LG. I'm actually lending this off of my friend Kirby. He had this one laying around, and I do a lot of graphic design work for him. So I was able to loan it for a while, use it in work for him and others. So yeah, thank you, shout out to Kirby. Thank you so much for having me, letting me lend the screen for a while. So over here we got a pair of KRK's speakers, Rokit 6. I think it's fairly old model at this point. But it has been serving me for a couple of years now, and the audio quality is great, and I use it for music production as well, like from time to time. But usually it also comes in handy with listening to music and stuff like that. Alright, there we have our microphones. These are like some really cheap Devine M-Mic microphones. There's a really old microphone stand, you can see. Yeah, it's very like improv, but we only use this when we do the podcast together with me and my girlfriend. My actual microphone is over here. It also has a pop filter and a proper Innox arm that we use. So I can just put my microphone away when I'm just working and looking at my screen. Then this is something very special. As you can see, this is a beer with my own hat on it. And maybe if you already know this guy, this has been designed by Spitfist. As you can probably tell from the style if you know him. This is as a thank you for us working together on his Spitfist package, which is available on the Dreadlabs web store, by the way. But yeah, he got me this sick ass beer. With the custom stickers and everything. So yeah, that's really cool. Alright, so this is where I usually draw on. This is where most of the dread shapes are being made on. So yeah, as you can see, this is the iPad that I usually work on. It is a 6th generation iPad with a 1st generation Apple Pencil. There's also a PAPERLIKE screen protector on it, and as you can see, it's really dirty. Probably need to clean this anytime soon. This is where I usually draw the dread shapes on, and where I do all of my illustration work on. Alright, then we move over to the keyboard and mouse setup. Nothing too special here. This is just an ergonomic mouse by Trust. This was like 10 euros. And then there's also a keyboard, which I just found at like a local store. It was only like 10 bucks as well. It's wireless and it does the job, and it's nothing too fancy, but it worked for me. Alright guys, so this is my pride and joy. So this is a custom PC that's built by Samin ICT and Sound. I'll show you the specs on screen, but as you can already probably see, we got a GeForce RTX in here. I think this is a 3070. I honestly do not know anything about gear, about like building PCs and stuff like that. I just work on them. I just had a talk with Andy and I was like, okay, can you just make me a really good PC that will work on Octane, Cinema 4D, FL Studio, editing software, anything. And that's what he did. And the coolest part is it has a custom Dreadlabs logo as well. So shout out to Samin IT and Sound for making this PC. I'll put a link to their website in the description, and you should really go check them out. Alright, then there's another older PC underneath here. I don't really use this anymore, but there's still contains like a lot of files that I've been using over the years, especially like music project files and stuff like that. They're just on this PC, and occasionally I just link this onto my screen and just extract some files from it. Right, so this is my 2017 MacBook Pro. Up until like February, I used to do all of my graphic design work on this. And most of my recording and motion design work as well. This is also the infamous laptop where I spilled my gin and tonic over. Luckily, you cannot ever see anything from this other than that my backspace key is like, if you hear this, it doesn't make the same sound anymore. But yeah, it still comes in very handy, especially like when I'm rendering on this computer. I can just go back to this one and like work with this. And then if we close that, connected to that, sorry, it's kind of messy here, but this is where my cables all originate from. A lazy 2 terabyte external hard drive that I use occasionally. Most of my Dreadlabs files are on there if they're not on the computer at the bottom of my desk. And then in the back you can already see the Focusrite Scarett 2i2. This is a very old one and I need to get an upgrade very, very soon because I want to have one that also has a MIDI output and input, as well as for some reason this thing makes my right KRK over there like glitch and crack and make weird sounds, and I really don't want that. So yeah, probably time for an upgrade, but it does the job. Right, so in here next to me is like an old Brother printer that we got from my girlfriend's parents. Also like a really cluttery part of my desk where I get my sketchbooks and like other like electronics, cables and stuff like that. I do it right here, but it's, as you can see, if you just walk in, you can't really see it that good. And then there's, at the bottom, there's an old screen and my Gunpla that I still have yet to build. So here on the side, there are some pepper plants that I grown from seed that I got from my girlfriend on my birthday in January. And they are like full grown plants now, which is really cool. And I think they're about to like start growing cayenne peppers, and over there are like jalapeno peppers. So really excited for that. But yeah, that doesn't really have to do anything with my, my work setup, but it's nice to look at every once in a while. Alright guys, so this was just like a quick video, nothing too serious, but I was glad that I was able to test out my new camera with this. I'll try to answer all of your questions you have about my setup in the comments, and I'll try to show all of the specs of my computers and like brands and everything on screen, so that you can just search for the similar products if you're looking for some. With all of that being said, I want to thank all of my patrons for supporting me in Dreadlabs and channel here. If you do not know, I make a lot of video tutorials on graphic design, motion design and music. And if you want the project files for that, you can get them on my Patreon. Besides that, you can also get a 15% discount in my Asset web store, as well as a Discord role and some cool privileges there. So if you want to become a patron, there will be a link in the description. And if you have any questions, like I said, you can leave them in the comments or you can join us on Discord. Alright, with all of that being said, this was Tom from Dreadlabs tuning out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.